Hi everyone. I think it's time to have a pit stop. I haven't done a pit stop episode since May. It is August 30th. And when I tell you that so much has gone on in these past couple of months, particularly in this month, yeah. So I quit my job today. Maybe not, let's not say quit. I put in my 2 weeks. Which is pretty mind-boggling. Oh my God, wait, before we get into it, let's hop into the housekeeping items. Welcome back to Ignite and Inspire, a podcast that provides valuable information to ignite your passions, overcome challenges, and lead more fulfilling and impactful lives. I'm your host, Summer Van, and before we get into today's episode, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. First, go ahead and subscribe to the show so you can stay up to date on future episode drops. Next, don't forget to leave a rating and review. You can scroll down and leave a star rating between 1 and 5 stars. You can also leave a comment to let me know what you've captured from today's episode. Lastly, you can find any additional resources or key takeaways in the show notes below. Sparking inspiration is something that you have to be intentional about, so give yourself props for tuning in and capturing a bit of inspo. So yes, I promise you I'm not having a quarter life crisis, but I did put in my 2 weeks today, and I don't quite know how to feel about it, but let me show you why I quit my job. Look what I got in the mail today. Oh, not today, this week. A big envelope. Most of the time, big envelopes mean good things. Crazy work. Dear Summer, congratulations. We are thrilled to inform you that you have been admitted into the Master of Science in Integrated Marketing Communications professional program at Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism, Media, Integrated Marketing Communications. Except I backtracked and asked to be transferred into the School of Journalism. And I got in. But let's take it back a couple of steps. So, okay, this pit stop is not going anything as I had planned. My co-host is being unprofessional. I'm kind of all over the place, but maybe that's an indicator of how my week has been. Very much so, all over the place. Let's start back from square one. Hi, I'm Summer Van. If you're new here, this is Ignite and Inspire. I've created pit stop episodes to allow myself an opportunity to stop and smell the roses, but also to document my journey as a podcaster, starting from the ground up. I do everything myself, from ideating, planning, producing, editing, scripting. Did I already say that? All the things. I am a one-man band. And so I want to document this process to just see how I grow along the journey, but also in case there are podcasters, creators out there that are in the beginning of their journey, they can listen to these episodes and have a little reassuring voice. So yeah, hopefully it's helpful to someone. But I did take notes to keep myself on track. Am I using the notes? No. But just stick with me, people, stick with me. Starting off, my birthday, oh my gosh. Gift giving is not a top love language for me. Not because I don't enjoy receiving gifts. It's just really hard. I struggle with receiving, and I've talked about it before on the show, but I'm not good with receiving gifts, nor am I good for asking. I'm not good with asking for gifts. I'm not good at requesting things or being vulnerable and saying like, hey, I actually need these things. So, one of my friends, JD, hi JD, she does a birthday wish list every year, and she announced that she was beginning to create her birthday wish list, and I asked her for some tips and decided to use this as an opportunity to ask for support as it relates to the show. And when I tell you, I was blown away. I was very much so like, look, if someone just reposts my flyer, I'd be satisfied. And y'all exceeded my expectations. So this is my public thank you. Thank you. For leaning in and supporting the show. It's not only just like a showcase of your support of myself and your love for me, but also your belief in the vision and what I'm doing and what I am envisioning for myself and for the world. I don't have the words to articulate my gratitude. Thank you. But on that same note, I feel like every year around my birthday, I naturally become super reflective, and maybe even a little bit critical, but I'm choosing to ignore that piece. Super reflective around just different things, different aspects. And this year, I felt like I was super cognizant of those that showed support, especially when I needed it, especially when I requested it. And again, asking for support is not something that I'm naturally comfortable doing. So not only that, but also I noticed just with a couple of things in my life, I was disappointed in a number of ways. And sorry, I feel like my hair is just not hairing today. But I was disappointed by some people in my life, and it's interesting because I don't even know if I have the words to articulate, but some key themes that came up. I have the tendency to let my empathy for others dictate my happiness or feelings or actions rather than keeping it in consideration in partnership with like objective reality. Now, that probably didn't make any sense, but I'm naturally very emotional, very empathetic, and I tend to let that overpower my my objective read on situations. And I became more cognizant through various situations and scenarios that occurred in the past couple of months that I tend to compromise myself, and I tend to do all of these things and expect all of these things and don't do or expect the same of yourself. For example, respect. Not only do you expect other people to give respect, you give other people respect, but you don't give yourself the respect. You expect other people to be considerate. You have consideration for other people, but don't have consideration for yourself. You are just and fair to other people. You want to be just and fair to the people around you, but you can't be just and fair to yourself. You want other people to obtain certain values, and you want to obtain certain values with other people, such as fairness, respect, but you don't uphold those values when it comes to yourself. And when I tell you, I was gagged. Like, okay, Sagina girl, you didn't have to call me out like that, but thank you. And it's put me in a huge state of reflection, especially considering that one of my big goals for 2024 was to put myself first and back that with action. Not just think about it, but actually do it in practice. And I knew by writing that down, by speaking it into existence, it wasn't going to come easy, because I know and I knew I had some things to learn. And boy, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I'm glad to be going through these experiences because I am learning so much about myself, and I feel myself, I see myself changing. But golly, my hair is just not, it's fine. Y'all don't care about my hair. But yeah, so that's one thing. I think the other big thing that sat on my heart, and it's kind of connected, learning and practicing boundary setting in real life. I'm not talking about the easy things. I'm talking about the hard things. I realized that a lot of the problems that I hold and that I take ownership over are not actually my problems. And because I've normalized allowing people to make me, word to Sagina, make me a main character in movies where I'm just an extra. And when Sagina used that analogy, I was like, oh my gosh. If I'm constantly an extra made a main character in everybody else's movie, how am I supposed to be a main character in my own movie? Clock it. So yeah, just a couple of birthday reflections that I've been nibbling on these past couple of weeks. But in the same breath, I feel like August has been one of the most blessing-filled months that I've had in quite some time. And I have nothing to credit it to but God, but the big man upstairs. At the beginning of this month, I told myself the only two things I'm doing this month, shutting up and listening. Literally, stop talking, listen, and actually be obedient to what he's trying to tell me. And one of the things that I know I needed to do a better job of was putting my full trust and faith in God. I talked about it on the show, but I don't believe today on August 30th, I have crazy faith. I don't believe it, but I do feel like I'm developing it, especially after this month and all the blessings I've received. Boy, throwing your hands up, surrendering, and just being like, hey, look, dog, you got it. Oh my goodness. So much has happened this month that makes absolutely no sense, but makes all the sense at the same time. For example, me being admitted into Northwestern. I applied for a completely different program. I did not apply for the journalism program. As it says in that letter, I applied for a marketing communications program, but I threw it out there to financial aid and was like, hi, I would like to transfer. Is that possible? What are the implications? And without submitting a portfolio, without doing an interview, without putting in an application for this program, I got in. And not only did I get in, I got in with a scholarship. I'm in shock. Now, I will say, they asked me right then and there, can you come to Chicago in a couple of weeks? And I don't know what possessed me, but I literally just said yes without hesitation. And I called my mom and she was like, well, how you gonna do that? And I was like, look, girl, I don't know. I don't know, but we're gonna figure it out. And things have just been working. Things have just been happening. It's been the smoothest process. I'm not stressed about the experience. I am overwhelmed by how well this is all panning out. But that's just like, now your co-host wants to be calm. Now your co-host wants to take a nap. Crazy. But another thing, and I'm backtracking here, at the beginning of the year, I told myself I would love to go to a podcast conference, but the bread is not breading, at least not right now, not yet. And so I was like, I need to find a way to get to a conference with low or minimal costs. And shout out to Buzzsprout. I host my podcast through Buzzsprout. They reached out and were like, hey, we got tickets. You just need to get to DC. And baby, again, yet another opportunity where I was like, I have no idea how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to take the tickets and I'm going to figure it out. And when I tell you, I went and I was nervous because I couldn't take PTO. I was nervous about being able to balance and manage, but yet again, it all worked out. Was I exhausted? Absolutely. I was tired. Throat was in pain from not only my lack of sleep, but also just from talking so much and then also working full time at the same time. I was exhausted, but I learned so much and I met so many amazing people. It was worthwhile for sure. And I learned a couple of things from this experience as well. One, I lack confidence in a lot of areas. And again, this is a one-man band. I am a one-man band and I've grown so much in a year. I've figured out how to make this sustainable for me. I am taking a leap of faith and putting myself out there and pushing myself to grow. I have to take a step back and smell the roses and be like, girl, you're killing it. You still have areas of improvement and you need to prioritize some things, but you can't compare yourself to people who have full-blown teams, who have studios, who have equipment, who have all of these things, who have editors, who have script writers, ideators, who have ad agencies, who have partners, who have all of these things. Like, you have to take a step back, and that's not an excuse, but it's just to say, like, not to compare myself and let that diminish or bring me down and discourage me for where I am and how far I have to go. The other thing, and it kind of connects back to me not really being a great requester of things, pitching. At first, I was kind of hesitant. I was tiptoeing around asking or telling people about myself, sharing that I had a podcast, but also expressing what I was hoping to gain from this conference. And luckily, at conferences, you are pitching yourself, you're introducing yourself time and time again, which acted and served as great practice. And by the end of the conference, I got so comfortable being like, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is what I need. But that was a quick learning lesson of like, no, girl, people are here to help, but you have to be extremely clear about what it is that you need and what it is that you want. Because you don't always have 10, 20 minutes. You may not always have 2 minutes. You may not always have 1 minute. But can you be clear, concise about who you are, what you do, and what you need? Another thing, I got to get my documents together. I got to get my legal together. So we're working on that. So from this, I hope that you are inspired. If you have a business, if you have a passion project, get your paperwork together, order of operations, or your LLCs, your trademarks, do all the things, especially if you see it growing. And if you are a content creator, an influencer, for example, put an LLC on your name. And then the last thing I'll say is like, one piece of advice that I got that I really appreciated and love was taking your audience, your metrics, your demo sizes, and searching pictures and printing them out so that you have a visual of who you're speaking to and the size of prize, the size of your audience. because how you prepare for a one-on-one conversation is not going to be the same as it would be like a football stadium. If someone told you that you were going out to present a presentation to a football stadium, you would invest more in the preparation phase than you would, say, for an interview. And some of y'all might be like, I don't agree, it just looked different. You're missing the point. Over your head. You're missing the point. I love that. I love that piece of advice. And as I transition into this next phase of life, it's definitely going to be something that I adopt and add to my vision board, my digital vision board, so that I can just keep in mind and keep my eye on the prize, even in those like low periods. So yeah, the last thing I wanted to touch on or talk about, some of you know, but I have been, shout out to Brooklyn, I have been doing a podcast intensive this summer. Hence why some of you are seeing my face right now. Hey. I've been doing a podcast intensive, and it's so funny because when I originally applied for this program, I did not think that I was qualified. I didn't think I was qualified. I didn't think I had the experience. I didn't think I had the knowledge. And I got accepted into the program, still felt the same way. And went into the room and was like, oh my gosh, I'm coming from work. I'm late. I hate being late. And I'm with these people who are literally experts. And moment of silence, man. Moment of silence. Yet another hammer to the head to say, like, girl, you are your worst. I'm speaking to myself on the camera. You are your worst enemy. You are your biggest op. Because that lack of confidence, that imposter syndrome is a wall holding you back. And I'm speaking to you, Summer. So I'm using this opportunity to launch into video, something that I have been fearful of for a number of reasons, but I'm super excited. So you can hop over to YouTube, and I'm looking into getting video episodes up on Spotify and Apple Music, Apple Podcasts. But if you'd like to see my face, join us, subscribe. It's been an amazing experience. It's been an amazing summer learning technical skills to help me make this more sustainable and make my editing process, because again, one-man band, more efficient. So shout out to Jessica, Ed, and my entire cohort. We did it, y'all. The trailer launches next week if this pit stop launches when it should launch. LOL. But yeah, I'm excited about launching into video. I'm looking back at my notes, and yeah. Oh, I meant to say all of these things. Yeah, I was scared about going into video because of the additional bandwidth, and I'm a solo gal, I'm a one-man band, and video is an extra layer, it's an extra component. That's lighting, that's camera work, that's framing, that's audio, like it's so many things, so many layers, and so I was just a little bit more nervous. So yeah, it's just a little bit more maintenance, but I can do it. And I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to immerse myself in the world of podcasting. I'm excited to learn more about the industry, about the world, about the process, about myself. I'm excited to conquer my fear of being seen and perceived, and ultimately my fear of success. I feel like a fear of failure is really a fear of success, and confidence comes with practice. So the more that I do this, the more that I put myself out there, the more that I create, the more comfortable I'll get. And I'm excited about that process. I feel like God is putting me in rooms to address these roadblocks, address these speed bumps, and reaffirm that I got this and that I can do this. And I also just want to thank all of my guests who so willingly are being guinea pigs in this first series. I want to thank you all, listeners, for sticking with me through the first couple of pancakes. You know, those first couple of pancakes, maybe a little burnt, a little crispy on the side, but it's the ones after that, chef's kiss. So I want to thank you all for being along on the journey. And I'm so excited for context and just to level set expectations. I right now am planning to release these video series as mini series. I'll still be doing audio in between, but want to test run incorporating video and see how it goes. This system might change. It may grow. I may do video all the time. I don't know, but thank you for sticking along for the ride and for the journey. Are there any other things? Oh, yes. So the trailer is dropping September 19th. Due to these new updates of me now going to school, I unfortunately won't be there in person, but I will be tuning in virtually. So please come if you are free and available. It is September 19th. I will share the streaming link and include the details to visit the intensive showcase in person if you're in the Brooklyn, New York, New Jersey area. It's going to be amazing. I listened to some of my friends' trailers and Chef's Kiss. Y'all have to tune in. Y'all have to check it out. It's amazing. It's going to be great. With that being said, I hope that you are inspired to stop and take a pit stop, check in with yourself, check in on how you're progressing with your goals, with your personal projects, with your professional life, and document your journey. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close out today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, follow the show, like, rate, comment, leave a review, all the things, and stay tuned for the release of my video series. Super excited. Well, yeah, I need to figure out how to close out these episodes. I don't know, I just feel so awkward. I'm gonna just go ahead and go. Thank y'all for listening. Bye.